Welcome, welcome to 1 Million Cups. We're so glad to have you guys today with us. We are all about building the entrepreneurial community, and you are part of that community. How many here for the first time? Welcome. We're so glad to have you. Who here would consider yourselves entrepreneurs? Awesome. Great. Well, welcome. And this is sponsored by Kauffman Foundation. We are the third largest in the country out of 80. So we are very proud of our Springfield community here. Let me introduce you to our organizers. We have Philip Baird, Craig Jameson, myself, Jonathan Putnam, and then LaDonna Griner. If you see one of us, please stop by, say hello, shake our hand, let us know your name, and we'd love to get to know you more. And these are our sponsors. We couldn't do it without them. So a big thank you to the Springfield Art Museum. They allow us this space every week. They're really a fantastic sponsor. Brick and Mortar Coffee, Jonathan Putnam. He donates coffee every single week and has, for how long now, Jonathan?
Huh?
How long have you donated coffee?
I don't even know. 2 years.
2 years. So glad to have him as a part. We have Database Solutions. They are the Apple Premier sponsor here in Springfield. We have Spark Events. They take care of our video, our lights, our sound, just an incredible resource. And then we have Spirit Factory. They take care of all of our swag. So we're glad to have all of our sponsors. We also have something new that we're implementing. We have a professional panel. This week we have Nathan Gregg, if you'd raise your hand, Nathan, with Innovate Today. Glad to have him. And then we have James Bonds, who is a professional life coach. Glad to have him as a part. Awesome. Well, I'd like to, before we do that, please connect with us, whether on Twitter or Facebook, and feel free to tweet over off to the right. We'd like to see what you have to say. And then moving forward, I would like to introduce our first speaker of the day with F1 Computing Solutions. Welcome to the stage, Chris.
Good morning. I'm Chris Kays, founder and CEO of F1 Computing Solutions. We are a managed services IT company. We began in 2005, so I'm not necessarily a startup, but we have changed our business model, and that's why we are here today. Hopefully, you've seen us around town, possibly. This is our F1 ambulance. If you haven't seen that around, I'm sorry, because I wasted a lot of money on the wrap for that. And we are the original. We did this before Hertz Donuts. I'm sure you've seen them around. We did this before them. Actually, the same wrap person, so I know this for sure. So please watch for our vehicle around town. And this is my wow statement. Wow, how time flies. As many of us, as you get older, you hear what your parents said when you're growing up, how time goes faster when you're older. And it does. As I've gotten older, time is just insanely passing by. Said that because I started this business in 2005 as a sole proprietor. And then in 2008, after I thought I was doing really good for 3 years, we had increases of 25 to 30% easily every year on revenue. We lost a very large client in 2008. And that was very devastating to the company. It was almost a 75% reduction in revenue. But I refused to give up, so I revamped and started going forward again. Getting out there more, coming to more networking events, just putting myself out there as much as possible to help us get growing again. We have a dynamic business model. In the technology field, we have to change our business model continuously to change with the needs of technology. As you all know, technology changes daily, and we have to keep up with that. We have to stay in front of that. And to do that, once again, we have to change our business model continuously. So in 2014, we went from a computer break-fix shop, which we have been up until this point, meaning that somebody call us, a client would call us, we'd go fix their computer when they had a problem. We switched our business model to managed IT services, and in 2014, that brought us a wealth of revenue. It helped us grow substantially. It even helped us capture time that we weren't capturing in the break-fix model. It allowed us to service our customers way better. We can monitor their systems, and we can help them with their systems when there's a problem before they even know that there's a problem, and take care of that for them. 2016, this year, just a few months ago, we have started working with government contracting and working with General Dynamics as a subcontractor. We haven't got our first contract yet. Don't think I'm up here rich or anything like that. But we are working towards that to get our first contract. General Dynamics, if you don't know who they are, they're one of the biggest contractors with the United States government. They produce about $150 billion in contracts per year, mostly with the Department of Defense. And we're hoping to capture part of that. They have a huge IT department, and they will subcontract 50% of their government contracts to small businesses. I failed to mention before, I am a service-disabled veteran small-owned business, so that also helps us with the government contracting. What do these people do? Well, one of our newest innovations is cloud services. It's more new with the name than anything. The cloud has been around for years. It was just coined about 8 years ago as the cloud for marketing purposes. But we do multiple cloud services, and I'll get into that. What is the cloud? Okay, I need everybody to raise your right hand and swear that once I tell you this, you will not leave this room. I'm joking. The cloud is very simple. It is, you've got your company, you've got the internet, and it goes out. All your stuff is in another building. Basically, very simplistically put, that's the way it is. Email is a classic cloud service that's been around for a long time. You have your email on your computer, but that email also resides on a server somewhere else, hence the cloud. You have the internet for the transportation to take it to that server, and that's basically all the cloud is. It's nothing magical or anything like that. Like I said, the email servers, I will leave this person nameless, but I know in the news there's been issues with email server, and just to let you know, that person probably could have done way better by using cloud services instead of trying to have the email servers on their own premises. There probably wouldn't be a scandal going on. There probably wouldn't be anything in the news if they'd had that, because the cloud will take care of your security, it will take care of updates, and it'll keep all of your operating systems and your hardware updated continuously. Cloud migration. No, it's not a new trendy term for going to heaven. I know it would be really cool, and we can all start that if you want to, migrating to the cloud, and it sounds a little bit better than dying. But cloud migration actually is just simply put, moving all of your data, applications, everything from your workstations locally to basically servers at either a data center, a server farm, or someplace else that's secure to hold your data. And once again, you'll use the internet to transport that information securely back and forth. Cloud management. We also easily manage all of your applications, all of your operating systems, everything in the cloud. When you come on with us as a client, we will move whatever you want to the cloud, and we are able to manage this from an easy dashboard. It's way easier. Looking at the dashboard will tell us instantly what's going on with those systems.
We're going to give you the 30-second mark so you can wrap this up, because I know we have a lot of questions in the audience for you.
Okay, all right, thanks, Phil. What else do we do? I'll run through this. Managed IT services, that includes cloud services. Within that, we have the help desk, systems administration, backup and disaster recovery, security management services, and we also do consulting, which is free, your first consultation to come out and talk to your business and see what your needs may be. Is there anything else that we do? Yes. What I started the business on is website design and hosting. We also do website migration, content management systems, WordPress, real quick, that's a coined term I think most people know. That's your main content management system. So lay people, normal people, not nerds like myself, are able to go in and manipulate your own website. And we do search engine optimization with Google. We partner with a company that is a full-blown Google partner that will take you even to the next level farther than we can. How do we do it? I'm not going to tell you that. It'll bore you, and they've already been given the 30-second warning, so I'm going to go on past that. We're the only place in this area that has a full-blown computer lab. You can email questions to our lab at any time. And so anytime that you want to email her, you can. That is my dog, my lab, and she does have her own email address. So if you want to email her, you will get an answer. She's very good at getting back to you. Once again, F1 Computing Solutions, I'm Chris Kays. There's our contact information, and I guess we'll put questions and answers.
Great, thank you, Chris. We're going to start off with James Bond. James, what's a question that you would have for Chris?
Chris, for our small business owners, 2008, after the oh my God conversation, what was your next step from a professional standpoint?
I laid in bed for a few weeks. No, that's a very good question. It's hard to overcome something like that, as most business owners know. Like I said, I just revamped myself more than anything. Just my inner strength to come out and say, hey, I've got to keep going. I haven't lost everything. I've just taken a setback. You look at it as a setback, and you also look at it as a learning experience, and you take that information that you've learned, that the old adage that we've heard for a number of years, don't put all your eggs in one basket, and we kind of looked at that, and we actually focused on taking on smaller businesses and more of them. That way, when we did lose one, it wasn't as devastating to us. Trying to focus on one large business is a risky gamble.
Good word. Nathan, what's the question that you have for him?
I'd like to know what methods you're using to market your product.
Marketing
or services.
Marketing our product and services. Honestly, we've done everything organically, and we are a debt-free company. Marketing has been our downfall. It really has. It's been a burning issue with us for a long time. We do social media. We are on Facebook and Twitter. It is updated continuously with technical tips for people to read. You can go and look at it. And obviously our website, we've SEO'd that. We've taken care of that on Google, and newsletters. So that's where we're at as far as marketing. We're getting ready to do a marketing campaign with a local radio station, and we'll see how that goes. I'm not 100% on that, but.
Great, thank you, Chris. If you have any questions, raise your hand. We'll pass the mic out to you. I wanted to start off with, what is your pricing model for your cloud services?
That's a very good question, because that's something I didn't get to touch on. The pricing models for the cloud, that's another great thing for individuals that don't, especially startups. If you don't have a lot of money to put up front, we can streamline the pricing, and it will, depending on your usage, it goes on how much you use the cloud and what part of that you use. So you don't have to have a whole cluster of hardware and pay for that up front, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 up front. We will take care of that for you, and then you just pay us as you go, as you use the services. So you're not having to put anything out there up front that's really going to be hard for you to do.
Okay, great. We've got a question over here.
Hi, Chris. For my students here, I wanted to ask, what advice would you have for really young adults who are trying to get their career started? What would be a good way to get into the position you found yourself in today?
Education. Really, to get into the IT world these days, you've got to have the education to stand you out from the crowd. You want people that are looking at you, that may hire you, that bring you on, to look at you and say, hey, this is what sets them apart. They've got this. You're not going to have the experience right off, so the education portion is what you really need to have in your favor. That's the biggest thing I can offer at that point, and I can talk to you guys later on an individual basis about more in detail on that too.
Great. We've got a question on this side.
Hey, man, I loved your presentation.
Thank you.
Coming from someone who has an IT background for 3 years with Evangel University, our biggest struggle was whenever we integrated any sort of new systems like what you're offering, there was a huge learning curve for people that weren't as computer literate, like some professors. And, and so how do you deal with educating your clients on all of your services?
We try to have anything that they're going to be responsible for, we try to, for lack of a better term, dummy it down as much as possible. And I don't say that bad. It's like I tell my insurance people, I don't know insurance. So, I'm not saying it's like people know what they know. And so when we implement this for clients, if they don't understand something, I want them to understand it pretty much right off the bat. We don't try to teach them because that's almost impossible to do. So we try to customize it for them on each client basis. And so they have a streamlined and easy rollover and migration to the new systems. That's the best we can. We will offer training for them if they request it, though.
Good. We have another question from James here.
The research shows that the cloud is easily hackable and getting more hackables, for a better word, I guess. What is the next step that you would refer your clients to other than the cloud?
There's multiple layers of the cloud. And if I stumble across this at all, I apologize. My chief technology officer wasn't able to be here today. But there's multiple levels of the cloud. You have the public cloud, private cloud. We use the private cloud mostly, and we started using that because of the government. And we use the Microsoft platform. Microsoft, I know a lot of people don't like Microsoft because of who they are, because they're so big. But they know what's going on. They've been there for years, and they know what's going on with security and everything else. They actually have a government partition that we can get into that's even more secure than any other cloud environment out there. So that's where we can take our clients to if they need that extra security.
That's great. Colin has a question.
What is the business case for a client to move from in-house to the cloud?
I'm sorry, what was the first part of that? What was the business? What
was the business case for one of your prospects to move from in-house to the cloud?
Okay, I got you. Yeah, excellent question. We love doing that. We really do, because it's all of our clients, they're just like super happy once they get there. Everything seems to work better. We will come in and evaluate the systems that your company has, and we will draw a from start to finish plan for you, and all this is free of charge, and draw this plan up, and we will present it back to you and go over every aspect of that, of moving your systems, because there's a lot of variables in place, whether you want just your data moved or if there's applications that need to be moved, email, it all depends on what you're running locally for us to move to the cloud. And once again, moving to the cloud, you don't have that the update of operating systems, of hardware, of licensing. You don't have any of that to worry about anymore. So that's all taken care of once it's moved over to the cloud. So I hope that answered your question.
Chris, thank you. Great presentation, by the way.
Thank you.
I always like to ask people, because it's something I struggle with, balancing professional and personal life and time. As a business owner, how would you speak to how you succeeded or failed, or a little bit of both in that element?
Honestly, when I'm done working for the day, I go visit my computer lab. Seriously, you have to balance, and I've learned this the hard way, as I'm sure most entrepreneurs do. You have to take downtime. You have to force yourself to do it. You're working, sometimes 18 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you don't take the downtime, you're going to collapse. You're not going to be able to keep going. And as you get more tired and wore out, your productivity goes down, and your business can hamper from that. So I definitely tried to, I will schedule a vacation. I will force myself to take the time off and get away from the business. So.
Philip has a question.
So running a small but growing business, I'm curious, when do I need to reach out to you? Like, when does it make sense for a company to bring you on board as a partner? And then do you have some examples of companies maybe on both ends of this scale, the size of or type of company locally that you work with and how you work with them?
Yes, great. Yeah, the best thing for a company to do, if you have any type of technology, and we usually look at companies that are 10 employees plus, and because of our flexibility, we have no caps on our verticals, so we can take on a company with 10 employees all the way to 250 employees or more. We're able to handle that scalability. So whenever you have the technology in place and you just feel like you're overwhelmed, or you just want to talk to somebody and see if there's a better solution out there, please contact us. We'll be more than happy to come out and meet with you, and we will let you know if we would be a good fit or not. I'm not a salesman. I don't pressure anybody into something they don't want, because then it's an unhappy relationship from that day on. I want all of our clients to have a really good, happy relationship with us. One of our bigger clients that's a nonprofit also is The Kitchen Inc. here in Springfield. We took them on 4 years ago, not knowing how big they were at the time. They have anywhere from 80 to 95 workstations and 6 to 8 servers, and it's a fairly big place. One of the slides that had the server rack on the right side there, I don't know if you remember that, but that was in the kitchen's server room. So that's one of our bigger clients, and it was a challenge being a nonprofit. It's kind of a different model for us, but we've worked with them very well. So we're really good with nonprofits. The Cracker Jack Shack is also one of our clients. They're a little bit smaller as far as technology, and we do managed services for them as well. If you grabbed a brochure off a table in there, if you didn't, we can get you one. There's a testimonial in that brochure from Sandy Higgins, the owner of the Cracker Jack Shack, and talking about us. And the Cracker Jack Shack, if you don't know who they are, is they do promotional items and screen printing for a number of large businesses.
Okay, we've got a question on the back.
Hi, my name is RD. I'm with Mighty Sharp, a creative marketing agency. Love to talk with you afterwards about marketing if you want. But my question is about the trend now for more and more employees to work remotely or work from home. And I'm wondering what sort of approach you have for businesses that are moving that direction or trying to move that direction, and the special challenges there.
The working from home, once again, has many variables. It depends on the business, depends on what they're doing. If there's any kind of security issues, it's going to be costly to go into their home and set their home up where they're going to be transmitting and receiving information securely. If it's not a security issue, then setting something up on the cloud is very beneficial, and there won't be hardly any cost at the home, but to set the cloud up, then you can work from anywhere. You could have employees scattered out throughout the world, working off of the same data, the same applications, and everything like that. The good thing with the software that's developed for the cloud, a lot of times if it's developed correctly, and they call it SaaS, software running as a service, it's not licensable per user. So once that's developed and put on your cloud system, all of your users can use that and push it out to your machines without people having to buy the software every time. So the cloud is a very good solution for any remote users and companies wanting their employees to work at home and allowing that. It works very good for that.
Chris, thank you so much for the education and for telling us about your business. So we always like to ask, what can we as a community do for you?
Okay, my chief technology officer had that information. No, honestly, since we are an organic company, we're not looking for investors. I mean, if somebody just wants to give me money, that's fine. But we're not necessarily looking for investors. But really, the best way the community can help us is just to help us out, help out you, help your businesses. If they're struggling with technology, pass our name to them. Like I said, I'm not a salesperson, and I won't push anything to them. But that would help us a lot, just to get our name out there more, and to help the community, help people understand technology and how much better it can run for them.
Thank you. All right, guys, time for announcements. Instead of standing up here and reading through all the announcements like we normally do, you're going to see them scrolling behind me. And so snap a picture if there's something you want to learn more about or follow up on. With 1 Million Cups being run by 5 organizers, a lot of us are entrepreneurs ourselves or business leaders. We're always looking for ways to make 1 Million Cups better. And a big part of that is this Wednesday event. And so one of the things you guys are going to notice is a change on how we do announcements here very soon. So we wanted to kind of give you guys an update on that. Please get us your announcements. If you want to present an update about an event or your company to the audience here, we strongly encourage that. So get those announcements to us the Friday before the upcoming Wednesday event. What we're going to do is we're going to cut it off at the first 8 announcements we get. And a lot of you guys have been coming for a long time. Very rarely do we have 8 or more announcements. But the reason we're doing that is because, again, instead of standing up here as an organizer and reading through these announcements, we're going to consolidate the announcements to a single slide. The event name, the company name, and 3 bullet points. So contact info, pricing, dates, whatever that needs to be. And what we're going to do is we're going to invite a community member, someone who has an announcement, to come up and then share in more detail about their specific announcement and what's going on. So again, we want to open the mic up a little bit more to the community. This is a community event, and we're going to give that a shot. And that's kind of what we do here as 1 Million Cups organizers. We gave moving to the Art Museum a shot. We now have the professional panel, which let's give them another round of applause for helping out with good questions to kick off Q&A. But yeah, so I just wanted to let you guys know you'll see a change in that format soon. If you guys have ideas for how we can conduct the Wednesday event better, how we can provide you guys more value as a community, please provide us with that feedback. We're always open to trying. We fall on our face a lot, and then we put that idea to bed, and a lot of ideas come to fruition and work out really well, provide a lot of value, so then we do that more. So continue keeping the ideas coming. Also, you're going to notice our community announcements are going to have a better presence on our social media as well. So we do believe that this platform is valuable to community groups and companies in the community. We hope that you feel the same. So let us know how we can help you guys get the word out about what you're doing. All right, so our next presenter, I'm really excited to introduce. I actually ran into him at Color 10 about a week ago, and he was telling me his story about what he does here in Springfield. He's actually in charge of the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame. And he's also in charge of putting on the Price Cutter Charity Championship tournament out at Highland Springs. And after sharing that with me, I said, have you ever heard of 1 Million Cups? And he said, I have, but I have no idea what it is. And I said, would you be willing to come out next Wednesday and tell us your story? Because this is an event coming up very soon. And so I'm really excited to introduce to you Jerald Andrews with the Price Cutter Charity Championship Golf Tournament in the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame. Thank you.
Thank you, and good morning to all of you. Chris, great presentation. We're a prospective client for him, and I hope you are too, so we'll look forward to visiting with him more. I've been the president and executive director at the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame for the past 21 years. And through the Hall of Fame, we manage what's entitled the PGA Web.com Tours Price Cutter Charity Championship presented by Dr. Pepper. Prior to my arriving at the Hall of Fame, I spent over 2 decades at Southwest Baptist University in Bolivar, where I was an administrator, the executive vice president of the school for the last several years there. In 1994, John Q. Hammonds built the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame here in Springfield. And he built it kind of under the pretense that if you build it, they will come. They don't come, okay? That's been done time and time again. And I got a call from him in the summer of 1995, and he said, we're bleeding out here, we're losing X thousand dollars a month. I've been told you're someone that might be able to turn it around. And I'll never forget walking into University Plaza, and if you had any affiliation with Mr. Hammonds at all, if he were in Springfield, he would eat lunch at University Plaza each day. And he was back in a far corner, and I walked back there, and we had met a couple of times, but he didn't know who I was. And he stands up, shakes my hand, and he said, we're going to make a deal. And folks, we made a lot of deals over the next 15 years until his health took him out of the chair of his organization. Our last deal was I spoke at his funeral, something he asked me to do. The Price Cutter Charity Championship is one of 25 PGA-related events on this level around the world. There are 4 of those tournaments that are celebrating their 27th anniversary. And the one here in Springfield is one that's been around all 27 years since the inception of this tour. There's two emphases we're really going to focus on today. Number one, if you're interested in golf. If you're an aspiring professional golfer, the only way you get to the PGA Tour is now through the Price Cutter Charity Championship and the Web.com Tour. If you watch golf on TV, nearly 80% of the people playing every weekend have played here in Springfield over the past 26 years. This past Sunday, the final round of the PGA Championship was won by a golfer named Jimmy Walker. Well, if you go back and look at our records, Jimmy Walker played in Springfield in 03 and 04, made it to the big tour at that time, fell back, was back here in 2007, and made it back on the PGA Tour, and of course had a major payday this past Sunday. A couple of names you might recognize: Bubba Watson played here for 3 years, Boo Weekley played here a number of years. All the great golfers have been through here now. And if you are interested in the future of golf, this is something you do not want to miss. Just as important is the charity emphasis related to the PGA Tour. In 1938, the PGA Tour tournament started giving away money. Charity became an important part of them. You know, my mother was born in 29, and I have no understanding of 1938. But since that time, PGA-related events have given away over $2 billion to charities. Last year alone, they gave away $160 million. They gave away more money than Major League Baseball, the NFL, NBA, and National League Hockey organization all combined. Charity is a major emphasis of PGA Tour golf. More importantly, let's take it down here at the local area. In the last 26 years, this event has given away nearly $13 million here in the Springfield region to area children's charities. Last year, we gave away $904,000 to 44 different charity organizations right here in our community. Last year, as an example, the gifts ranged from $2,000 to $85,000 that went to charities. I had a real learning lesson just a couple of years ago when we were giving money away, and we had a special grant program that we were able to fund that year as well. It was in our 25th anniversary, and we did give away just over $1 million that year. We allowed our charities to apply for grants. The Fordland Medical Clinic applied for $400. They needed $400 to buy booster seats for their dental clinic out in Fordland. We were able to satisfy that need. The Shriner Hospital dads applied for $40,000. They needed to buy a new van to transport ill children and their families to Shrine hospitals throughout the Midwest part of the United States. We were able to give them $40,000. Both of them were thrilled. It didn't matter if it was $400, it didn't matter if it was $40,000. Their needs were met, and that's what we try to do through the tournament. This year, the tournament will gross nearly $2.5 million, and it's our objective to give away somewhere in the $900,000 to $1 million range. In way of expenses, I might share with you, our largest expense is the professional purse. These guys are already making some money if they're playing at this level of golf. Our purse will be $675,000 this year. The champion on Sunday afternoon will get a check for $121,500. Folks, when I got involved in this 21 years ago, these guys were sleeping in their cars. They were shaving in the parking lot before they presented themselves to play in a Pro-Am. And today they're making a living doing this. And obviously they're striving to get to the PGA Tour. We have a wonderful team of 8 individuals. Kerry Crawford's with me today, who's in charge of branding and marketing. And we have a COO in charge of operations and administration. We have an accountant. We have someone that focuses just on sponsorship development. We have a media relations person, someone in special events, and an administrative support person as well. This is a pretty typical size staff to manage a golf tournament like this. But keep in mind, our real job is to run the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame. We're doing things all year long. We will actually manage nearly 30 golf events this year, between the Price Cutter, the events for the Hall of Fame, the golf tournaments for the Hall of Fame, in addition to managing events for the Upper White River Basin and Foundation in Branson, the University of Missouri Alumni Association, as well as the Hannibal Regional Hospital. The issues that we face year in and year out is how do we keep this event fresh? You know, you might sit back and say, wow, 26 years, I guess they're successful. Yes, we are, but how do we keep it fresh? We're constantly battling this whole issue of, I've been there, done that. So why do I want to go again? And that's something we're challenged with year in and year out. The other issue we're dealing with is the changing of golf and how it's perceived in America. Does it take too much time? Is it too expensive? Do I want to spend my time some other way? That's a major issue. We're also challenged related to the competition for charity dollars as well. That's a major, major issue. We are constantly striving to create new programs. That's critical for us. Chris talked about 2008. Just think about what 2008 did to charities. You know, it was a major issue. We faced that with the golf tournament. It made us look under more rocks. It made us work a whole lot harder. We created one program in 2008 to make up for some of our losses called the Ultimate. The Ultimate program is where we sell 100 sponsorships for $1,200 each, and you have a 1 in 100 chance of winning a new Corvette. Well, this Friday night, we'll give away our 8th Corvette in the past 8 years. That program alone will net about $40,000 for charity this year. And by the way, I have 3 of those chances left if you have an interest in purchasing one. See me afterwards here today. This year, we're really excited to be adding a new program. It's called Honoring Our Heroes. For the first time, all military, law enforcement, and first responders and their families will be admitted to the tournament free of charge. Not only are they being admitted free of charge, we'll have a special tent with premier viewing on number 18 green. That'll be called the Heroes Tent. In addition to that, they may take their families into the VIP tent for free food and drink while they're visiting the tournament as well. We'll be starting each morning with the presentation of the colors, and something we should have done years ago, but we're doing it this year. And if anyone out there relates or has related to the military, law enforcement, or first responders, please pass that on. Great. I love that. The one last focus I really like to talk about relates to sponsorships. We live and die on sponsorships. Price Cutter is represented here today. Folks, Price Cutter has been the leading sponsor of this event for 18 years. 18 years. That's unheard of in sponsorship life. If you folks are buying groceries, and all of you are, I'm going to encourage you to go to Price Cutter because of that. Okay? Sponsorship retention is critical to us. Finding new sponsors is critical to us. That's something we deal with day in and day out. And if you're thinking about the tournament and some other ways you can use it, think about business networking and social networking as well. This is the largest sporting event held in Springfield year in and year out. It's a chance for you to really entertain clients, be entertained yourself, and have a chance to meet other people as well. Our vision for the future is to continue to strive to be viewed as the premier tournament out of those 25. And folks, we're viewed that way today. If the PGA leadership were here, they would be telling you that. The other objective for our continual future relates to giving money to charity. The charitable needs are unlimited in our community, and we strive every year to drive every dollar we can to the bottom line for the charities, children's charities here in the Ozarks. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much, Jerald. And we're going to start off with a question from Nathan from Innovate Today.
Yeah, so I'm sure I could speak for anyone in here that has ever hosted an event that needs sponsors. Mm-hmm. And I like that you've emphasized how hard it is to adapt to new sponsors, right. Seek new sponsors when sponsors decide they don't want to continue. Mm-hmm. So I'm curious, what are some ways that you guys are finding ways to raise money through more for-profit acts? That way you're not relying solely on those sponsorships.
If I understand your question correctly, everything we do is going to generate a profit, or we're not going to do it next year. Okay. If you look at our schedule of events, every tournament has its own market niche, if you will. In Omaha, Nebraska, the tournament there, they have a great 19th hole party. That's where they sell beer. Folks, I've tried that 6 different ways here. We can't make money doing that here at the Bible Belt. Okay? Our niche here relates to pro-ams. It's playing with the pros. Every PGA tournament has one. About half of them have 2. We have 14. These are great profit centers. This is where we make a lot of money for the charities that's passed on. And we're constantly looking for new programs that will generate a bottom line. I'm thrilled with the Honoring Our Heroes program. You know, the part I didn't tell you is we're trying to raise this amount of money to going to cost us this much money to do that. And we're going to add a first responders dependent charity to our list of 44 charities this year as a result. Anything we make will go to that organization. So everything's profit driven. On Monday this week, we had our annual women's clinic. We're the only PGA Tour stop that has a women's golf clinic. Next Tuesday, we're going to have a women's pro-am, which we've been doing for nearly a decade. We are the only PGA Tour stop of any level of golf that has a women's pro-am, where 4 women will play with one of these professional golfers. Folks, if they didn't make money, we wouldn't do them. And so everything we do has got to be profit driven. So, hey, that was a great question. I'm going to give you 2 passes to the tournament. Okay?
We'll take a question from James.
James.
The next question will be, you mentioned about the interest in golf and keeping that going. What programs are you guys either coming up with or doing now, maybe to partner with like the Boys and Girls Clubs to get the kids excited about golf again? Because as a golfer myself, not a very good one, but as a golfer myself that loves the game, that's the key to get that interest going.
It is, sure is. It's a great question, and you're going to get 2 tickets as well. But for us, we do a number of things related to kids. Once again, all the money we make goes to children's charities. The Boys and Girls Club actually come out. They serve as standard bearers during the golf tournament. They're the ones that are carrying the stakes. It's got the professional names, tells the score. They're walking with these professionals. They're getting one heck of a golf lesson during that time. We have a kids' fun day and junior golf clinic. That was about 2 weeks ago. We had about 150 kids that were there for that. You don't teach a kid about golf with a golf ball that big and a club that I have trouble swinging at times. You teach them with a ball that big and a club that's got a head on it that big, but you get them interested in doing that. And so you strive to do those kind of things. We have a junior golf outing where we invite any child to come. You don't have to know anything about golf, but you're going to get a 2-hour period of time on a golf course where you're going to have a chance to swing clubs, get some gifts, we're going to feed you, and so on. We're trying to do a lot of things to interest kids in golf. That's critical for us. And it's a challenge because it's expensive. And so we look for ways to make it inexpensive for people. That's really critical for us.
That's great. Can you tell us a little bit about what your attendance looks like and what your ticket structure looks
Sure.
like?
There you go. Hey, these are good tickets. These tickets sell for $150 a piece, so
That's
don't
awesome.
drop that.
Okay, thank you so
Okay.
much.
Or if you do, somebody pick it up. These are called Ozark Club tickets. They're 4-day passes. They'll get you into the grounds, the clubhouse, and more importantly, the VIP tent for free food. And if you want a beer, you can get a beer there as well. It's free. And Coke, yes, of course, Coke water. But they do sell for $150 a piece. Once again, we've tried to do as many things as we can to make the tournament family friendly. A week from Thursday, Southwest Center for Living is providing a free day. If you go by their facility, you can pick up a free grounds pass. Those sell for $10, but you can get a free one. A week from Friday, Oak Star Bank sponsors that. So you can go by Oak Star Bank, pick up a free pass, and come to the event. Daily passes are $10. Clubhouse badge is $100. What's the difference? That gets you inside the clubhouse. Doesn't give you any food or drink. And then these Ozark clubs are $150. So those are basically the 3 different levels of tickets. We do a lot of things to drive admission. We have a great raffle program. I told you about giving away the Corvette, 1 in 100 chance. Our charities can sell raffle tickets for $25 each. If you do that, you're going to get a 4-day pass to the tournament. That's worth $40. We give away 500 prizes between Thursday and Sunday. We give away 125 each day. All of them are worth at least $25 or more in many cases. In addition, on Championship Sunday, we'll give away $10,000 in that sweepstakes. And this year, we'll give away a new Ford F-150 pickup. Those tickets sell for $25. The charity that sells you that ticket, they get to keep the $25. You sell 100 tickets, that charity makes $2,500. Sell 1,000, they make $25,000. If that program sells out at 8,000 tickets, the charities will net $200,000 on that program alone. So there are lots of ways to be able to get into the tournament. Does that kind of answer your question?
Thank you. Okay, we have a question in the back.
Yeah, Gerald, I was just wondering if you could explain to the people a little bit more about the volunteer program.
Sure.
I'm wearing my Price Cutter shirt from several years ago. We've had the privilege to volunteer for the last 6 years. And
Great.
it's really a great experience, so let the people know
I'll
how
be
they can
glad
get
to.
involved doing that.
Thank you for bringing it up. It takes between 1,000 and 1,200 people to put the tournament on. And we ask people to volunteer, and we ask you to pay $45 to volunteer and take time off from work in many cases. But you do get a shirt, and you get a piece of headwear, a backpack, a drink mug, and you get a chance to come out and be around golf. We have inside jobs, outside jobs, walking scores. If you're a golf enthusiast and you can walk 18 holes, you'll never see a round of golf played up close like you will being a walking scorer. We have course marshals all over the golf course, spotting balls. You can do that. Once again, you can work inside, and hospitality jobs, and so on as well. In addition to that, if you work 2 sessions, the session's considered 4 hours, you get a free round of golf at River Cut, or you get a buy one, get one free at Jerald's restaurant this year. So those are nice benefits as well. You get free passes to the tournament for your family. Of course, we feed you. While you're there, you'll eat some great hot dogs provided by Price Cutter Charlie. And I love the hot dogs that week. But, oh, yes, we have the Cardinal tickets. Springfield Cardinals always give us tickets, and several other benefits. This year, Moe's, the restaurant out at Battlefield Mall, will be feeding our volunteer party. They're providing coupons to all the volunteers this year as well. Next Tuesday night is the annual golf ball and charity auction. And that's typically attended by about 1,200 folks. Volunteers get tickets to attend that free. And we'll have a large auction. We'll sell 400 silent things, about 25 live things. That program itself will net us somewhere in the 60,000 plus range for charity as well. But did I miss something related to volunteers?
Great.
What'd you do? What job?
I was on number 11T in the hot sun.
You have a quiet sign?
Yeah, quiet.
Quiet sign, okay, good.
That's awesome. We have a question to the left here.
Yes.
Yeah, I wondered if you could talk a little bit about the relevancy of television coverage for the tournament. It's kind of come and gone over the years, and
Sure.
does that impact your ability to attract sponsors?
Okay, great question. The Golf Channel broadcasts 10 Web.com tour events a year. We have the Golf Channel twice here. One year we had them, it rained 9 inches that week. So it didn't do much for us except tear our golf course out. But it now costs $400,000 to be on the Golf Channel. $400,000. I'd much rather give that to the children's charities in the Ozarks than be on the Golf Channel. Number one, Highland Springs doesn't care about being viewed around the globe on the Golf Channel. Number two, a great regional corporation like Price Cutter doesn't care about being around the globe on national TV. So that's why we're not on the Golf Channel. We're giving the money to local charities instead. There are very few of our sponsors that really have a strong interest in that international market, if you will. That's a real contrast between us and the event in Branson that Johnny Morris is doing. His entire objective is to market Big Cedar Lodge around the world, and we don't have that same market interest. Now, is it fun? Oh, it's a great time. Feed my ego. I love being on national TV, okay? If you can't tell that. But it really wasn't a good value for what we were doing. So,
Great. We've got a question over here.
Great presentation. What you're saying really hits me very personally because I'm very passionate about charity and things of that nature. Now, my question for you is, with the advent of things like Patreon, Subbable, Kiva, and group sourcing for charity and donations, there's a large number of anonymous donors that don't necessarily want to be known, don't necessarily want to be seen. How do you make yourself known to them and give them an avenue which they can donate anonymously?
we work real hard at trying to identify what a sponsor is really interested in doing. You know, some really want the exposure, and others, they don't want to even be known for a variety of reasons. But we really try to meet with each sponsor, discuss in great detail, what are you really interested in? Are you really interested in entertaining clients? Are you interested in having fun yourself? Are you interested in your money going to charity? And we try to develop the sponsorship package based upon that. We've always been very broad. You can look at our marketing piece and, oh, here's this little box and this little box. We live outside those boxes for the most part. And we do that because we're really trying to meet the sponsors' needs. I want to point out a couple of things related to charity to you. The typical PGA event is giving away 19 to 20 cents out of every dollar they raise to charity each year. This event in Springfield gave away 37 cents out of every dollar that was raised last year. Now we're able to do that because we're using the Hall of Fame as a platform with our staff to run the event from. But it's important to us to drive as much money to the bottom line as we can. And we've had the luxury of anything we make, we give it all away. If you support our tournament this year, we believe you want to support the charities this year. We never sandbag money to help us a year down the road. I'd like to at times, but because you never know what the future is going to hold. But we've never done that. If we make the money this year, it's going to be given away this year.
Great. We have one more question. Colin?
Yeah, I have two questions. Who decides who gets what? Between the charities? Between charities. And secondly, does all the money stay local?
Okay. Both great questions. The second question's easier than the first one. All of our charities are here in the Ozarks region. Okay? We keep all the dollars local, and that's been important to our group from the very, very beginning. But all 44 charities the dollars are going to local, and they're going to be spent local. They're going to help local kids. That's very important to us. Secondly, who decides? You've heard the old saying about there's two things you never want to watch: making sausage and passing legislation. This would be the third one. Okay? If you could see our spreadsheet, there's just multiple areas. What's happened over the last few years to try to really focus on your question is several factors go in. How long has the charity been involved? What is the charity bringing to the table? How many sponsors are they bringing in? Are they volunteering, and how many of them are volunteering? And what all are they doing really at the tournament? That dictates a great deal in terms of what they're receiving. We've also, since 2008, developed several programs where the charity really drives its own destiny. The sweepstakes program I told you about, that's dictated. Every charity has opportunities to bring things to this auction next Tuesday night, and whatever they bring, if it sells for $100, they get the full $100. If it sells for $10,000, they get the full $10,000. We're just providing them with a party with 1,200 people at it, and they can liquidate something that's been donated to them. So we've really tried to develop a number of programs that they can control their own destiny in terms of what they receive. So, do we ever have enough money to give to everyone? Oh no, but you do the very best you can. And fortunately, the last 2 years, 2 years ago, our 25th anniversary, we did give away just over $1 million for the only time in our history. And we made enough money that year that we had $115,000 left. We invested it with the Community Foundation of the Ozarks, and we let them manage a grant program for our charities. And the charities applied for grants if they wanted to, and obviously most of them did. And then we had an independent group that made the decision about how to give that money away. But it was above and beyond what we felt they should get from the tournament. Last year we made enough to give away $50,000 that away. And we did the same thing again. It was very rewarding to see that happen. I hope we can do it again this year.
Thank you, John. This has been a great presentation, and I think you filled in a lot of gaps. I've heard of Price Cutter Championship, but never really knew the details. We always like to close with one question. What can we as a community do for you?
Attend. Seriously. Be there. Come out. You'll get hooked if you do. Come out, watch these golfers, number one, if you have any interest in golf at all. These people are incredible athletes. They just get a little bit better each year. It's amazing. And they're going to be the future stars that your family members, if you're not interested in golf, but your family's going to be looking at. Secondly, you're going to see a bunch of charities that are out there working. Parking cars, serving concessions, doing any job that's on the golf course. And you're going to be impressed by them putting forth the kind of effort they put forth to do that in the kind of heat that we often have in August. So please attend. This year specifically, if you're related or you know anyone that's ever been in the military, Chris, you're a veteran, I'm a veteran. You know, if you know anyone that's ever been in the military or is currently serving, anyone that's ever been in law enforcement, anyone that's ever been a first responder or currently are, encourage them to come out. This is something we're doing for them. We want them to have a good family experience by coming to the event, and we encourage all of you to do that as well. I've got about 40 tickets left, and yes, they do sell for $150 a piece, but I'm very glad to give them all away today, and if you want one, you can see Carrie down front here. Thank you. Good.
Well, Jerald, thanks again. That was a wonderful presentation. It's nice to have someone as well spoken as you up here presenting what a great project that is. So thanks again. Hello, podium. Thanks again for being here every day. Every Wednesday we do this. We meet 8:30 in the front for coffee and conversation, and then 9 o'clock kicks it off. We look forward to seeing you guys back here as we celebrate the art of entrepreneurship and 1 million cups every Wednesday here at the Art Museum. So thank you. Grab another cup of coffee when we're out. We'll see you then again.
Hey guys, we're here with Chris Kays with F1 Computing Solutions here in Springfield, Missouri. Been around for quite a while, but you guys have recently introduced some pivots to your business model. It was really interesting to learn about 2008 and the effect that had on your business. I think it would be inspiring for you to share, and you talked about this a little bit in the presentation, but what were some things that helped you get through that and helped you stick with it? A lot of people would have quit at that point.
Yes. Yes, in 2008, we lost a very large client of ours, almost 70% of our revenue, and it was hard to drive through that and to keep going after that. But in order to do that, I told myself, because at that point I had to let all my employees go, and it was just back to me as a sole proprietor when I started the business, and to drive through that, I just had to tell myself, this is a learning experience. I will get through this. I've gotten through harder things before. And just reached out to the Small Business Administration is one that I reached out to for their mentorship program, and they helped me a lot to see things that I might do different in the future to keep that from happening again. And the one thing they did say was to focus more on smaller businesses, get that built up before you go to big businesses, and that was a huge help to us and to keep us going.
Yeah, and that's a great point. I think the earlier people can realize the importance that having the right people who have your back, whether it's in a paid capacity or just mentors. That's I think number one. Who are some people that have mentored you, or who are some people you follow that really encourage you?
I'm almost afraid to say this, but honestly, and it has nothing to do with political, but it's Donald Trump. I have followed him for years, and I've just inspired by what he has done, and has really stayed until the election scandalous for the most part, even though he's in the spotlight. And I feel like that I look at his family, and his kids are good people, and I just feel like that he's done a good job. And I'm not saying this for political, nothing, but that's who I've really looked up to throughout, starting in the 80s even, that I did that.
So you've attended 1 Million Cups Springfield in the audience. Tell us a little bit about your experience on the stage as a presenter. And I know there are a lot of entrepreneurs out there that would really benefit from this platform. I truly believe that. That's why we do what we do. But are hesitant to get in front of an audience. Yes. Share a little bit about your experience and maybe some of the benefit and a little word of encouragement to entrepreneurs out there to take advantage of the platform.
Yes, definitely. I was hesitant myself to present on stage. Obviously, I started in 2005. I've come to many Millions Cups, and I've never presented. Because of our business model change, I thought, well, this is an opportunity to do it, and just told myself to do it. It's difficult getting up on stage. I've presented to many audiences, but when you're presenting for your own business, it's a little bit different. But you guys helped us out, helped me out a lot on the dry run that we did setting up for this. Giving us feedback, giving me feedback on stuff. It was awesome. It relaxed me, and honestly, you shouldn't be afraid. You will be afraid, you'll be nervous, but get up there and do it because it's great. It's a great experience. Getting up there in front of people, and it's always a warm welcome. Even if you make a mistake, just go on through it, and you're welcomed. And we've already possibly got a decent client just from this one presentation. Awesome. So it's a great opportunity for entrepreneurs, and I highly recommend them to come do it.
There you guys have it, Chris with F1 Computing Solutions here in Springfield, Missouri. How can people out there get in touch with you?
You can reach us, you can call our office at 417-429-2313. You can email me directly at ckays, K-A-Y-S, at f1computingsolutions.com, or go straight to our website, f1computingsolutions.com.
All right, hey guys, I am here with Jerald Andrews with the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame, and the guy who is in charge of putting on and running the Price Cutter Charity Championship at Highland Springs each year. Jerald, you just presented at 1 million cups to our audience here. If you could, can you share with us just a little bit of your experience, what you thought of this audience and this platform?
Well, it's a great group. They obviously were paying attention with the questions they asked, so I really enjoyed being here, enjoyed being introduced to the organization. And I can sure understand why people are excited about it. So,
yeah, and so I think a lot of people are familiar with the Price Cutter Charity Championship. It's been here for this is the 27th year, which is the fourth longest running in this tour.
There are 4 that have been around all 27 years, 4 tournaments, and we're one of those 4, yes.
I think something that people don't realize is the importance that this tournament has on the future of PGA professionals. And so can you kind of share a little bit about the requirement of coming through this to make it to the Sunday prime time?
Be glad to. Basically, this is the only way you can now get to the PGA Tour. When I got involved in this work over 2 decades ago, the top 10 money winners won their PGA Tour card. The other 40 new cards were awarded through what was called Q School. Well, today, Q School gets you to the Web.com Tour. And then now the only way to get to the PGA Tour is to play up through the Web.com Tour. And so the top 50 money winners each year receive their PGA Tour card, and they move on up at that time. So right now, when you're watching a PGA Tour event, nearly 80% of the people playing every week, week in and week out, are Web.com Tour alumni. And many of the people winning are Web.com Tour alumni as well.
That's great. So a couple of just brief statistics, 1,200 volunteers are required to put this event on.
Takes a lot of people.
Generates, you said, $2.5 million?
We'll gross $2.5 million in cash. We'll do another trade out or in-kind support of over $500,000. So it's a $3 million annual company, if you would. And then it costs a lot of money to run it. We'll give away about 35% of that is our objective.
37 cents on the dollar is as compared to the average PGA event, which is 18 or 19 cents on the dollar. So that's amazing. How can people get a hold of you to learn more?
Well, Missouri Sports Hall of Fame. That's where I am unless I'm traveling. But they're welcome to contact me at the Hall of Fame. That's where my office is, and they can call there or come by and see me, and I'd be glad to visit with them.
Awesome. We appreciate all you do, Jerald.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.